upbeat Polish folk dance. And although it was really important historically, sort of in the 1800s in ballrooms, it's still really popular today and very important, sort of the national dance of Poland. And kids still learn it at school, so everyone knows how to do a mazurka. So it's quite a fast dance, it's in 3/time, and the other feature is that there are accents on beat 3. Not always though, it's a little bit sort of unsystematic, a little bit sort of random. So watch out for that, because you've got to, this piece is all about the detail and the fact that the pedaling's a little bit odd. I'd say that's tricky, and the accents on beat 3 is a bit tricky. It's in D minor though, so that's good, and it's got a really catchy tune, and once you get it in your fingers, it's really fun to play. The tune is always in the right hand, so always push into the keys, make it sing, shape it, and left hand has to really stay down. The first note of each bar, beat 1, obviously still has some importance, so that's can be quite strong, but the little chords in the middle stay close to the keys so that they're not very loud, particularly on the 3rd line. So if I just go from the beginning, there's an upbeat start, so all the phrases start with a 1 note. I would, in the main sections, give a tiny bit more time than you want, definitely not less. Loads of students seem to rush the beginning and just go, I'm off, but no. Kind of like everyone goes and then we're off dancing. So we've got this upbeat start, and then your pedal has got to come up on beat 3 of the first bar, and there's staccato, so then there'll be a gap. So that gives it a really good energy for a dance. Then it's down. And what's quite fun is sometimes with the accents that are going down, this hand's come off because it's staccato, my foot's come off, but the right hand is holding. So at the end of line 1, that A holds until the next bar. That next bar, bar 5, there's a gap at the end. That one keeps going through. It's not an accent this time, but it keeps holding. Now I'd put my left pedal down, right on that note at the end of line 2, because that will help me be really, really soft and be able to do an accent that's piano, which is otherwise quite tricky. Now keep your left hand really quiet. It's quite an expressive one, and I think the dancers would be able to sort of follow the little nuances. So don't feel that you have to be too strictly in time with this one. The Mazurka was really explored not as a dance piece, but more as an art piece by Chopin, who of course was Polish. And so no one danced to his Mazurkas necessarily, they were for listening to. And he would pull his around a little bit and also have lots of chromatic notes. And I think that's why there's all these little chromatic bits at the bottom of page 1 and near the end. Because of course the person that wrote this, Nathalie, you know, she's quite young. It's a modern Mazurka. So I think that's a little bit of a throwback to Chopin, and put it around a little bit. It would still make it really musical. Watch out for that little crescendo dim at the end of no, it's a dim actually, sorry, at the end of bar 10. So we do a nice big small there. Take your left pedal off for bar 13 so that it can grow through that bit. Lovely strong accent at the end of bar 14. Lean on your big chord, then tiny. I would have pedalled that if I'd had my foot ready. Then take a bit of time on the last note of page 1, like before, and then we're off again. Again, watch out for your accents up at the top of page 2. And then the last 2 bars is last 2 lines are basically like a sort of improvisation on the main theme, so lots of little extra notes. Bar 25, just make sure your accent's at the bottom of your little ripple. Yeah, not the first note. Some people have done that in my lessons, but actually that's where the accent is at the bottom. You've got your flash a little bit at the end. You can do a little crescendo and a little dim out of that. And then the last line is really tricky. So don't worry if you find that hard, because everybody seems to. Loads of hand separate work for that last line. Again, the pedaling, the staccato, which doesn't necessarily sound like staccato because you're pedaling, although you could pedal a bit less, just kind of dab your pedal more. The big crescendo, make sure you've gone really tiny at the beginning of bar 29. And then that lovely ripple at the end. And again, the accent this time is at the end, but the end's at the top. So you actually don't think staccato. I know we've got to do a massive jump, but you've got to lean on it before you do the jump. A really lovely strong end. So I don't know, maybe watch some videos on YouTube of mazurkas, get into the spirit of it, pull it around a bit, don't necessarily rush it right through. Lots of melody in your right hand. Yeah, and make everybody dance. Here's a slow motion performance now, in case that helps.